Welcome in, fellow Guardians. It's been a while and it feels so good to be back. With Guardian games arriving today and everybody grinding for their new surfboard, along with a slight but to some healing solar abilities, I bring you the ultimate Team Titan. While you're here, hit that subscribe button, click that thumbs up like, ring the notification bell to stay notified, and leave a comment below. I do respond to all comments. I also live stream at least 3 days a week on all major platforms. The link are in the bio below. I play Destiny 2, Helldivers, Palworld, retro games, and so much more. Come hang out and let's play together. Today's build is going to be the Solar Titan that will allow you to mow down enemies, scorching everything in your path while keeping you and all of your teammates alive. The build is based around the Precious Scar's exotic helmet with the exotic trait 𝕃𝕀𝕍𝔼, which with final blows from weapons with a damage type matching your subclass energy create a burst of healing around you that grants allies restoration. After reviving or being revived, you gain an aura that provides overshields to you and nearby allies. More specifically, when reviving allies or being revived grants you and allies within 15 meters a 100 HP overshield for 10 seconds. Also, leaving the 15-meter radius or breaking the overshield of the wearer removes the overshields. Kills with a weapon matching your subclass element grant restoration ×1 to you and your allies within 15 meters for 3 seconds. A 3-second cooldown is between each activation. All right, let's get into the abilities, aspects, and fragments. But first, I am going to be using Hammer of Soul. I just think that it's a better super unless you're using Phoenix Cradle or something like that. But we'll be using the Hammer of Soul. For your abilities, we'll be using the Rally Barricade just because it comes back quicker and you get that increased reload speed, stability, and range. We'll also be using the Strafe Lift. You can use whatever jump you like. This jump just makes it feel more like a Warlock to me. And Throwing Hammer. Throwing Hammers are really good. You know the Bonk Titan, you throw it, picking you up, you get Cure, which is another thing that we're gonna keep Cure going the entire time, so it helps out a lot. Plus it does a lot of damage, and you can constantly get your hammer back within about 1.5 seconds every time you pick it up. Also, we'll be using the Solar Grade, which the Solar Grenade causes scorches to targets trapped inside, and it's actually my favorite grenade of the solar grenades that you can use. And for the abilities, we're gonna use Soul Invictus. Soul and Final Blows, Hammer of Soul impacts, and defeating scorched targets creates sunspots. Your abilities regenerate faster, and your super drains more slowly while standing in a sunspot. Sunspots apply scorch and deal damage to targets inside. Entering a sunspot applies restoration. So this is going to be another way we get restoration. This is another way we're going to scorch enemies. This is another way we're going to be able to do all kinds of things to keep this build popping, killing enemies, keeping you in life, keeping your teammates in life. And for the other aspect, we're going to use Roaring Flames. Final blows with solar abilities or ignitions increase the damage of your solar abilities stacked 3 times. So those solar grenades are going to do more damage. The hammer's going to do more damage. We're going to keep building those ignitions with all kinds of things, but our abilities are going to be creating ignitions as well, allowing us to do more and more damage. All right, so for our fragments, we use Ember of Empyrean, solar weapon or ability final blows extend the duration of restoration and radiant effects applied to you. Ember of Solace, radiant and restoration effects applied to you have increased durations. We'll just keep that duration going longer and longer and longer. Ember of Eruption. Your solar ignitions have increased area of effect, so they'll be able to make more ignitions and more explosions further and further out to keep the chain going. And finally, Ember of Ashes. So you apply more scorch stacks to targets, which the scorch stacks will lead to ignitions, and ignitions will lead to the restoration. And as you can see all the damage and the healing will be provided. And since we have the ability to keep ourselves healed, and also that scorches and ignitions cause healing and other things to occur in this build, the perfect exotic to use with this is Tommy's Matchbooks, which its exotic perk Ignition Trigger states, sustained fire with this weapon overheats it, increasing damage but burning the user. And with the intrinsic trait Heatsink, allowing overheat damage to reduce while not aiming down sights. Tommy's also applies scorch stacks as well with its catalyst. While Ignition Trigger is active, your health recovers more quickly and sustained fire scorches your targets. So we'll be applying those scorch stacks with our Tommy's Matchbook, causing those ignitions, causing our health to recover more quickly, but also causing that restoration effect from Precious Scars. As you can see how this build is coming together, it's just going to keep you constant health and make you do constant damage and just destroy enemies, but at the same time be a beacon of health and basically a medic on the field for your teammates. And for the stats, as always, you want to try to get 100 resilience and 100 discipline. There is no need for you to build into strength for this, as your hammers will come back in about 1.5 seconds as long as you retrieve them after nerfs. You can build a little bit into recovery if you want to, but it is not necessary. Like I said, just build into discipline and resilience. Now let's get into the armor mods. Like I always say with armor mods, you can adjust them how you need to based on how you're trying to get your stats. So you're not able to get the same mods that I have, but you might be able to get better mods than what I have based on the stats of the equipment that you have. So always, you might have to tweak this a little bit. This is just a general idea of what you should use in order to make the best build possible. First mod for the helmet is going to be Harmonic Siphon, which rapid solar weapon final blows create an orb of power. And as you already know, orbs of power do all kinds of things in this game, and it'll affect other mods as well. We're going to do Ashes to Assets, gain bonus super energy on grenade kills. We'll be getting a lot of grenade kills with that solar grenade, so this makes a lot of sense. And then we'll be doing hands-on, gain bonus super energy on melee kills. So we'll be using that hammer as well. Every time we get a hammer kill, we will get more super energy in order to start throwing that hammer of soul over and over and over again with our super. Right. As for the gauntlets, I like to go with heavy-handed. So your melee final blows create an orb of power, because we will be using our little bonk hammer. So we'll be getting orbs of power. Anybody can get an orb of power is great. As well, we'll be using grenade kickstart. When your grenade energy is fully expended, your armor charge is consumed and you gain grenade energy for each armor charge used. Y'all know what grenade kickstart is. It's huge, it's big. Y'all can always go and use something like, bolstering detonation if you wanted to instead, or focusing strike, or impact induction. But this is the combo that I really like to use. But you could add something else in there if you don't have to use a general armor mod to take up all of your energy. For the chest piece, the only thing that I really highly recommend is charged up, so you get the maximum number of stacks of armor charge increased by 1. As for your resiliences, always use what you're going against in whatever activity you're going against, but that can change and do whatever you want to use. Whether you're up close, whether you're going against solar or arc, just choose there what is most important for the activity you're in. As for the leg mods, we're going to use Innervation, which reduces grenade cooldown each time you pick up an orb of power, which is self-explanatory. Insulation, which reduces class ability cooldown each time you pick up an orb of power. And Stacks on Stacks, which pick up an orb of power grants you 1 additional stack of armor charge. So all those orbs we're creating will give us more armor charge. So when we use our grenade, we'll get that grenade partially back from our grenade kickstart. And lastly, we're going to use a Reaper mod. Shortly after using your class ability, your next weapon final blows spawns an orb of power. So you'll just throw up your barely barricade, hide behind it, boom, get your orb of power. Plus, if you're using your weapon as well, boom, orb of power. So it's a kind of a 2-in-1, but it allows you to get more orbs of power, which we see is very, very vital. Powerful attraction automatically collects orbs of power when you activate your class ability. So boom, you put down your barrier, you'll get your orbs of power, self-explanatory, which just makes it easy. So you don't have to go chase those orbs if you need to get something done. And lastly, Bomber reduces grenade cooldown when using your class ability. Another, again, self-explanatory. Now with these, you could change them around. You can maybe do outreach if you wanted to. Time dilation, I don't think really needs to be used here, but there is very good spots to use that. I just don't think it's needed here. All right, let's go over the artifact mods. Now, to make this build go over the top and could possibly cause you to switch your primary and heavy weapons accordingly based on the activity or preference. These mods are, you can choose anything you want in the first slot, just depending on activity, what kind of barrier or unstoppable or overload champions you're going against. But the ones that you need are Kindling Trigger, Radiant causes solar weapons to apply Scorch to unscorched combatants. Big, our whole build is based around Scorches and Ignitions, so we need that, period. Up next, Flint Strike, rapid solar weapon precision hits and rapid solar weapon final blows grant Radiant. And Radiant is huge again. Radiant causes you to do more damage. Up next, we have Torch. While Radiant deal increased weapon damage to combatants affected by strand and stasis debuffs. I'm using this because I'm using a scatter signal fusion rifle as my primary that's going to put slice on them. And when I put slice on them, it's going to debuff them with strand, and therefore I'll do another 5% more damage. So you could do that with that or choke clip. So it could be something that you use if you want to maximize your damage output. Up next, Heart of the Flame. Casting your solar super energy grants allies Radiant and increases the damage of your super for each ally nearby. Pop your super near your allies, they become Radiant, your super becomes even more powerful, makes a powerful super even better. Wished into being. While your super is nearly fully charged, ability final blows spawns orb of power. There you go, we get more orbs of power. Another way to get orb of power, as you know already, it's huge. Up next, Revitalizing Blast. Causing damage with a solar ability weakens champions and bosses for a short duration. Enough said. Use the solar ability, get weakened on the champions and bosses, boom, you can do more damage. Up next, Rays of Precision. While Radiant Solar Precision Final Blows calls combatants to ignite. Again, scorches and ignitions. Scorches and ignitions plus radiance plus healing makes this build completely OP. And next, Solo Operative. So if you are alone, what you can do with this build, you don't need a teammate. It does better with a team because you can keep the team healed, but you can do it alone. And if you are alone, use Solo Operative. While you're the only member of your fire team, you deal increased damage to all combatants. But if you're not alone and you aren't in a team scenario, I highly recommend Argent Ordnance. Firing a rocket launcher consumes 1 stack of armor charge, granting increased damage and reload speed until you reload or store your rocket launcher. And as we all know, rocket launchers are the best damage, period. Rocket launchers. Plus, a lot of them are getting buffs. So this here will make your rocket launchers even more powerful and the reload speed even better. That is the build. This build turns your Titan to the ultimate team player, allowing you to not only provide DPS, but also support as well, keeping your team alive. The dim link is in the description below. Leave a message in the comments what you think of this build, if you tried it, what builds you want to see next, what you would change. Hit that subscribe button, that thumbs up like, ring that notification bell, and check me out on the live platforms below. I do hope to see you there. Come hang out, let's play some games together. Until then, feel free to click on one of the videos on screen right now. For more fire builds and other content, it's your boy ℚ𝕋𝕼 out. Peace.